Hey guys, I wanted to talk today about Apex Drive. Not my clothing company, but the mindset, okay? The mindset of Apex Drive. I was watching something the other day, and I think it was Joe Rogan, and they said something to the effect of that motivation is bullshit. And at first I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Motivation isn't bullshit. But actually, motivation is bullshit. After I listened to it more and more and thought about it. A lot of people say, hey Layne, how can I get motivated? Or how do you stay motivated? How do you, because here's the fact of the matter that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge is, I heard a quote the other day, life is fair because it's unfair for everybody. If you don't think the person who made that $1 million or who drives that Ferrari or who accomplished this great athletic goal or did great in business or whatever it is, if you don't think that they went through some shit in their life, you're kidding yourself. Everybody goes through shit. Now, some people go through more shit than others, but everybody has to trudge through shit. That's the fact of the matter. All of you, all of us are going to experience setbacks, frustration, feel discouraged, feel like you want to quit. We're all going to have those emotions and feelings. And so motivation is a very fleeting thing. Trying to rely on motivation to keep you going. To be motivated, motivation is a short-term thing. What you want to be is driven, okay? Drive will be there when motivation fails you, okay? Motivation is seeing that, warm story on the news and saying, once in a while, saying, wow, that's awesome, I'm going to go do something with my life. Or seeing somebody accomplish something amazing. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, Unfortunately, when you get to actually do something amazing, for you to achieve that, to succeed at that, 99% of what makes up success fucking sucks. It's setbacks, it's time, it's discouragement, it's people telling you you can't do it, people discouraging you from doing it, people telling you you're an idiot, spending money, if you're trying to get a business going, failing frequently, failing for long periods of time on end. That is what makes up 99% of success. 1% is that thrill of victory or that thrill of accomplishing something. And that's what keeps you coming back. But the only way you're going to show up every single day when it feels like nothing is going to work is by being driven. I'll give you guys an example. Avatar Nutrition. I'm a partner in Avatar. It's myself, Mark Springer, and Katie Coles. And Mark came to me with this idea for we didn't even call it Avatar at the time. Came to this idea for a website, computer system that could generate customized macronutrients based on actual customized macronutrients, but do it automatically. And he asked me, would I be willing to help design the system logic? And it ended up being me and Katie Coles, because I suggested we bring Katie onto the company. And I said, sounds interesting. I don't know if it can be done because there's just so many things that go into this logic, and I don't know if it can actually be put into, like what I do as a coach, put into computer system. And then he wanted to do it for $10 a month, and I was like, you're crazy. But anyways, we went into it, and the inception of that idea was, I want to say, in the summer, was originally in 2014. it took us until late 2015 to actually launch. We hired a company called Socius Marketing, our first mistake. We got all the logic written down. I wrote the original logic, and then Katie refined it afterwards. And we worked on it for months. We spent money on attorneys, on patents, on all kinds of stuff. Finally got it to where it was ready to launch. And Socius was a fucking nightmare to deal with. But we got it ready, and they said, okay, we've tested the system. Everything's good to go. You guys are good to launch. We launched in, I think it was like October or November of, I think it was November of 2015. And it was a disaster. It was an unmitigated disaster. For those of you who were with us from the launch, I tip my cap to you. Because when we launched, it just didn't friggin' work. It didn't. Like, Socius had fucked up everything so bad, it couldn't take credit card payments. It didn't work on iOS. It didn't work on Chrome. It didn't work on Firefox. Like, it was an absolute unmitigated disaster. And we had to basically, and Socius just dropped off the face of the planet. They didn't even, so Socius, if you're watching, Socius just dropped off the face of the planet and then tried to blame us for botching the launch somehow. What you find out, by the way, is that most web development companies are absolute shit, and you can't trust hardly anybody, as we came to find out again later, which I'll get to in the story. But through sheer effort of will, and a lot of the credit goes to Mark. Mark was driven to make this work. Mark replied to every single email. Every single person who was complaining about the system not working or problems that they were having, and had awesome customer service, and that's what kept us in the game. And we hired another web guy named Mike, and fortunately he was awesome and fixed all these holes we had in the system. And after about 2 months, the system was actually working. So then we worked on, refining it and whatnot. And over the course of the year, it actually started to do better. And we got up to where we had, a few thousand members. And we said, okay, we need to make apps. We brought on a CMO. We needed to make apps. We needed to redo the website. We needed to have like all these different things we wanted to do. So, and we had a web guy, Mike had to go off to other things. We had a web guy, Steven, who was awesome, but we only had him at I think 30 hours a week. And we wanted to make apps. We wanted to do things with the website. And I'm getting into why this relates back to being driven. This was this is the start of me, myself, Mark, and Katie all dealing with personal struggles as well. It's funny how life, when one area of your life's really going bad, like other areas start to go bad too. So we met with this company called Type 2 Designs in Tampa. And they seemed awesome. They had great ideas. They were gonna redo the website, do apps for Android and iPhone. They were gonna do everything. And they told us what it would cost us. And they told us the time frame. They told us 3 months. So we paid them up front like idiots. Well, not all up front, but we paid them quite a bit. And they were responsive for the first, I would say, month. And then they fell off the face of the planet again. And every time we get a hold of them, it was, it's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. Fast forward 3 months in, where they're supposed to be done. We have not even seen a working version of the website yet. And we had spent over $200,000 by this point. 200 grand. Let that sink in for a minute. And our web developer, Steven, went in to look at their stuff. And he said, they're not even close. In fact, they've screwed up more stuff than they've been able, the algorithm is just wrong. we basically had to cut ties. We told, especially after a former employee of theirs hacked their system and almost crashed our entire freaking website. So we had to cut ties with them and eat the $200,000. So here we are. We didn't get any of the stuff done we wanted to get done. Our member number was basically plateaued, starting to go down, and we've just lost $200,000. Setback. Failure. Motivation ain't gonna do shit at that point. You can watch as many motivational videos as you want. You can tell yourself, I want to succeed as bad as I want to breed, as many times as you want. When you get down and you're in that fucking dark place and you feel like nothing's gonna work, like it's never gonna work, what it's gonna boil down to is, are you driven? Is this just a way of fucking life for you? That's what's gonna make the difference. So at that point, Mark, Katie, and I are all going through personal shit, and we've just wasted tons of money on a company that fucked us over again. So Type 2 Designs in Tampa, if you're watching, I'm sure you're actually defunct. Oh, and by the way, we couldn't even sue them because it turns out they were getting sued by 4 other companies. So Type 2 Designs in Tampa, fuck you guys. And especially Victor, the owner, what a piece of garbage. But I should thank them eventually because it made our company stronger. So we could have said, all right, we had a nice run, made a little bit of money, let's just pack this whole thing up and go home. Instead, we went back to doing what we knew how to do because we were driven. Got to fucking work. Katie and I did live streams, multiple live streams on Facebook every week. We pushed guerrilla marketing. We worked on the algorithm. We didn't have a fancy website, but we could work on the algorithm. And we refined it to make it better and better and better, which it's awesome now. It works amazing. I use it myself personally. And then boom, another setback. We were going to hire somebody to be our CIO. They were going to handle all our web development stuff. We spent over a month negotiating the contract, over $10,000 on attorney's fees negotiating this contract, and the person backed out at the 11th hour, literally right when they were about to sign the contract. Again, I had those thoughts. This is not going to work. It's not going to happen. We've wasted all this time, all this money. So we got back to fucking work because that's what we do. Because that's what being driven is about. Steve Jobs said you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots are somehow going to connect in your future. You have to trust in something, whether it's faith, destiny, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect in the future will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. So we were driven to get this done. We couldn't see the dots looking forward. We're like, we don't see how this is going to work. You know, we had other companies copying us, starting to come out with their own stuff. You know, because once there's a good idea, because nobody can come up with a friggin' idea on their own. And we were worried about those companies. We were worried about all this money we've wasted. We just got back to work. That's what we did. And our membership, funny thing, it just started to grow. In 2 months, it doubled. In another month, it doubled again. Another 2 months, it doubled again. Now, we sit here, almost a year out from this Type 2 debacle, and we have 10 full-time employees. We have an office in Tampa, and we are working on the new website, working on apps, but we're taking our time, making sure they get done right, and we're continuously refining the algorithm. Now, I can't say that we're going to be some big giant success, but I can't tell you that we're doing the things to make it work. So what is the point of this story? It would have been very easy for us to just sit back and say, this shit just ain't gonna happen. After all the crap we've been through, I didn't even talk about how Mark and Katie moved here with no money, nothing to their name, and their first year here was just a nightmare. I didn't talk about any of that. But we were driven. Motivation is going to come and go. It's like the stock market, right? Relying on motivation to get you through tough times is like relying on pouring some gasoline on a fire to keep the fire going, okay? If you don't have enough logs on the fire is going to burn out. It doesn't matter if you pour gas on it. Pouring gas on it will get it more intense and get it hotter for a brief period of time. But if you don't have the right foundation, if you don't have the right logs on the fire and enough logs on the fire, that fire is just going to burn out and fizzle out. Focus on being driven. That starts with your why. Simon Sinek has a great book called Start With Why. Why are you here? Why did you show up? What are you here to do? What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose? I know my why. I want to change the world. I want to make the world a better place, leave it in a better place than I found it. And I think Avatar and some of the other businesses I've done and the information I put out there hopefully will help do that. But that's my drive. That's my apex drive. So whatever it is for you, whether it's you love racing horses, or you love chess, or you love mathematics, or you love nursing, whatever drives you, do that. Because when times get hard, drive is what's going to keep you going, not motivation. If you do not sacrifice for what you want will be the sacrifice. All right, guys, that's me, and that's one of my Apex Drive stories. Catch you next time.